unlocking the influence of past lives on your social media success. Welcome to the Soulful on Social Summit, where we uncover the keys to success on the both goal line and the soul line. I'm Katja Rusanen, your host, committed to helping spiritual entrepreneurs share their stories, shine their light, and succeed on purpose. Joining us today are master healers and founders of Self-Help Institute, Antonia and Becker and Greg, who bring a wealth of experience and insights into healing and creating success. Welcome, Antonia and Greg. I'm really excited to have you joining us.
Yay, so fun. Thank you, Katja.
Thank you for having us, dear Katja.
And before we dive into the heart of the matter, could you please share with us how has social media played a role in shaping your remarkable business success?
You know, what I love about social media is that whenever anybody goes to it, they're doing it by choice. So when people show up and watch a video that we've done, or they come to, a Facebook Live that we're doing, they're doing it on their choice. And that means that they're opting in to listen to our message. And that allows us to be able to connect with exactly the people who are attracted to our message and our work. And in doing so, we get that alignment that is organic. And organic is the way that it grows on social media, because we plan the messages that we want to put out, but we have flexibility in the way that people receive them. And that allows us to grow in a way where we're being fed by what people want. And that social response in social media is what allows us to publish our thoughts and our works in a way that it really interacts with our users.
And it's been so amazing because we're not really the biggest social media animals in the world. In fact, we're, and I'll tell a story a little later on about how I had to come into being okay with being on social media, but really it's what brought us to being worldwide and to having our clientele in countries across the world. It really has broadened our influence and our reach. And I'm not sure and not only has it brought us more customers and clients and beautiful friends, it has helped us grow inside. Yeah. And how it has helped us really kind of come out of having to maybe be a little smaller, just being in our comfort zone, to really being able to reach out and see so many more places and meet so many more people. And so it's really been a huge influence for us personally and business-wise.
That's beautiful. And we also connected, Antonia, on the social media in a Facebook group. It all started with the message. And that is something I really enjoy as well on social media, like the global reach. So we have this powerful tool to use, and we are so eager to dive into your expertise. But first, let me properly introduce you to the audience. So Antonia and Becker and Greg are the founders of Self-Help Institute, and their mission is to empower clients by turning problems and blocks that block their success into golden opportunities so that they can move forward with clarity and confidence. And for 28 years, they've been using their signature CoreTalk therapy to guide healers, business owners, speakers, and coaches towards successful outcomes by asking simple questions and getting life-changing answers. And they love helping their clients get past overwhelm, procrastination, self-doubt, and chronic health issues so that they can have the business and impact they so deeply desire. And during their presentation, they will be sharing on how past lives can have an effect on your ability to be confident and visible posting on social media. So I'm sure our audience is now eager to learn from your wisdom. So the stage is now yours, Antonia and Greg.
Beautiful. Thank you. And we have a little presentation that we're going to go through. And Katya, can you see it okay?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. So like Katya says, this workshop is how past lives affects your social media and your personal and business growth. I'm Antonia and Becker.
I'm Greg Lee.
Yay.
And we're the founders of Self-Health Institute, as Katya had announced. And today we really want to look at identifying and understanding past life traumas so that you can really get back to work faster and speed up the success that you want to really create what you want in your life and business.
That's right. And just sharing that story I talked about before, you know, we've been in this business for decades, right? And a decade ago or something, we were like, oh, we want to grow our business from one-on-one healing and massage. Greg's a lomi guy from way back. And we wanted to grow it into more of a healing business worldwide, supporting speakers and healers and coaches online. And when we wanted to do that, we had to level up in a lot of ways. The first thing we did was build our social media following. And that's where we met Katya, and in some courses that we were in, masterminds we were in together. So when we did that, we got on social media, we built our first course, our lead magnets, and then of course came funnels and our website, and we started speaking on stages. And for our first big speaking gig, we did a lot of social media posts. We went and got, you know, tickets online and all that kind of things. And we also decided, because this was in person, to have a large stand-up banner to decorate the stage. Greg designed it and we got it in the mail. We opened it up for the first time. You can see in our kitchen, it looks like. And I was shocked at the sinking feeling I had in my stomach, seeing my face in large proportion on the banner. It sent me into a little bit of a tailspin to feel that anxiety and outright fear and dread, really. And I realized it wasn't just about the speaking engagement, but it was about having that banner with my face on it. And it's like that. It's like when I saw, you know, my picture on social media for the first time, I just wanted to hide. And I kind of felt like I might die if my picture was all over social media or on that banner. And that got me really curious about what could make me feel so strongly. And it didn't really make sense because, you know, I love to sing. We're musicians and we've sung all over the world, really solo and in groups and everything. I'd been on stage so many times before. And we'd done a ton of Facebook Lives, a lot of social media for other promotions that we've had, but it was never as a healer. And that's what we are, of course, at our core in our business with CoreTalk therapy. We're healers. And that's what turned out to be the crux of the issue, though I didn't quite realize it at the time. But when I started looking into that, and we used our CoreTalk holistic healing to ask my body what the heck was going on with this dread, this huge fear. And I can't remember how we came up, but we came around to saying, oh, is this about a past life? And when I asked that, if it was one, it was like, no, it's not one. We're like, whoa, is there more? There was 5 big, kind of terrible ending past lives where I was killed because I was a healer helping other people. And so then it made a lot of sense to me that I wasn't going to say I was a healer in this lifetime, right? Oh my God, that's too dangerous for me. So we had to use our CoreTalk holistic healing to heal the trauma from those past lives that led to my death, those 5 terrible times, right? And then after all that healing and integration, all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay, I can be a healer. I can call myself a healer. I can put it on a business card. I can speak to people about it. without freaking out about it every time or feeling that, oh, I'm not sure if I should say that, right? It made a huge difference in my ability to show up as myself with ease and grace. And that really included being able to feel more comfortable talking about our healing on social media. It made all the difference in the world.
So that's why we're going to do this workshop. And so that you can move through your past life issues of visibility and confidence faster and easier. Because just like Antonia, I mean, it's amazing how different it was once she was able to clear that thing. And for those of you who are in the healing arts, that thing of when, you know, people say, what do you do? Oh, I'm a healer. And if it feels at all funny, that's why. So does that sound good? We're going to look at exactly why that's happening. So first, we're going to look at how our beliefs and emotions are affected by past lives so that we can really begin to decode some of the problems that may be showing up in your business. And we'll also look at the science around past lives and the effects past lives can have on our current lives, and especially the results that past lives can have when we want to be visible on social media, and as well as the impact that past lives can have on our business growth in general.
Yeah.
Really, really important.
Really important.
So before we jump in and talk about what we know about past lives, we always love to hear from our listeners. So if you're out there, you know, we would love to hear from you and let us know if you believe in past lives. So have you ever had that feeling that you'd been somewhere before or maybe known someone before? And do you believe that those past lives have an influence on this life that you're living in now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So do you believe that past lives could have an effect on how you post or how you don't post on social media?
Especially.
I mean, we really see this with the people that we work with. When they clear these past lives, everything starts to change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always a really interesting topic to contemplate or have a discussion with friends or family too. So there's so many interesting views out there about past lives. And just for fun, maybe some of you remember a past life, and we certainly have a lot of experience with memories of past lives for us. And
whether it's us or our kids or our clients, it happens a lot.
And it's something that we work on quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever your opinion, the belief in past life is really becoming more mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Dr. Jim Tucker at University of Virginia, he's been leading groundbreaking research on past lives and really being able to document his findings in his book, Life Before Life, and his follow-up book, Return to Life. So in these books, he documents interviews with kids who remember their past lives and then discovers the actual people they were based on and has historical evidence about those past lives. And these people have memories of these kids in the past life.
It's amazing what he has researched.
So Dr. Deepak Chopra, co-author of Superbrain, says that this book is the most convincing scientific evidence for the fact that our consciousness survives physical death.
Which is what that is all about with the past lives. And before we get too far along, let's make sure we're all on the same page, right? I love to define things. And a past life is defined as a previously lived life in a different body, right? The rebirth of a soul in a new body or a reincarnation. And one of the tricky things about past lives is that it's usually not the life trauma from that time, that past life trauma that needs to be healed, but it's the death trauma from those lives and all the feelings and thoughts and beliefs that went along with usually that difficult death. And so there's many ways that past lives or the deaths in those past lives can affect our current lives. So past life issues can show up as food allergies, phobias, and with the physical evidence of birthmarks as death wounds, which is pretty cool. But we're not going to talk about that stuff today. Today, we're going to talk about the most impactful effect for healers, coaches, and speakers. And it's the most difficult and impactful effect, and that is the resistance and fear of visibility. And that visibility, that resistance of fear of visibility can really have a damaging effect on your social media presence. So it can really affect your business, but it really can kill your social media. So it can have huge effects on our lives as healers, empaths, intuitive speakers, and coaches, right? How many times have any of you guys out there had a hard time doing a Facebook Live, or even making a website, or sending an email for that matter, getting on stages, virtual or in person, even when you know you have an important message to get out into the world? So just like my experience with the past life as a healer made me not want to be visible so much that I wouldn't call myself a healer for years and years. I was a tech writer, a novelist, but I never would say I was a healer. And I had to do that work so I could heal those past lives and become more visible and confident, and then attract this beautiful community of like-minded healers, speakers, coaches, and spiritual entrepreneurs. And honestly, it's this fear or resistance of visibility that can have the biggest impact on your life and income. Whether you're resistant to putting yourself or your gifts out in the world, when you have that, it's almost impossible to build a thriving business, right? And to find the people that you most resonate with and want to be around, because that's what it's about, attracting those people we want to work with and who need what we have. And it can also be detrimental to your health and livelihood and cause a lack of confidence and faith in yourself and the world around you, right? If you don't trust what's going on around you, you don't trust those outcomes. So have you guys ever felt resistance or fear to putting yourself out, especially posting on social media? So think about that. Think about that moment when you're about to post or you're getting ready to post. What's going through your head? What is your thoughts, and how do you feel about it, especially if you feel some of that resistance? So past lives can deal us some of the most dangerous blocks we face. And that's from visibility and scarcity issues to lack of self-esteem or confidence in our own worth or abilities. And how we deal with our past lives can cause our business to succeed or fail.
I love being able to work with people directly. Here's Jason, who we worked with at our last past life workshop. And she said that being visible and telling people about her healing business was uncomfortable for her, and that it even felt dangerous. Right. So she's also said that it was weird because she had done, like us, she had done tons of performing as a dancer, and that didn't bother her at all, being on stage and talking and, you know, being able to perform. And after we worked on her and we cleared out all this kind of sticky energy from 2 past lives as a healer, lives that didn't turn out as well for her as she had hoped. So she was able to confidently claim, and after all of this fear and trepidation of being seen as a healer, she was able to say, I'm a healer. And it was amazing that, and kind of, it was astonishing to see the difference in her during the event. From that moment on, where all of a sudden she started getting excited about her business and talking about the people that she served, and that it was kind of weird, but it was so cool, and that she'd be able to deliver all this transformation. And it was her own transformation from being able to heal this one past life trauma that allowed her to all of a sudden free up all this energy that she was then able to bring into not just the event, but social media on the back end of that, and things that helped her grow her business as she went along.
And she had a very specific niche audience. So it was really important for her to be able to get that very specific message that she had out to her audience and reach wide across social media. So that really made a huge difference for her.
And it was very specific as far as her audience.
Mhm.
If you weren't somebody in her audience, you would go, oh, that's not me. That's kind of weird. But if you were, it would be a direct alignment with her. So she really had to be able to speak and be visible to be heard and to be able to attract the people that she wanted.
Yeah.
So let's dig a little bit deeper into past lives. So because one of the tricky things with past lives is that it's sometimes difficult to realize that they're causing issues. So you can go on for days and weeks thinking about maybe, you're just hitting a rough spot or something like that, or maybe you're just busy with other projects. Or maybe something's happening in your family or with your business that's causing you to put off the most important things in your lives. And you might not realize that it's a past life that's manifesting that distraction or procrastination or self-doubt in your life and business. In fact, you may even think you're getting a lot of stuff done, but you're not getting to the most important things that would actually bring you online, that would allow you to do the social media posts and be able to grow. And then days and weeks and months go by before you realize that you're not completing your goals. You're not sending the emails. You're not going on social media and doing the lives that you want to do.
And it's like, why is that?
Right.
And this is where, us as humans, we can be a little complicated because we have so many feelings and thoughts and beliefs about our experiences that there's not just one thing that triggers it or brings up a past life trauma. Because sometimes there's a difference between we have a past life trauma and it always makes us resistant to wanting to go on social media. And sometimes these past lives can get triggered. And then all of a sudden we have even more of a fear about putting ourselves out there, or even more wanting to stay safe and small. So there's so many different situations that can set off a trigger of that past life trauma. And there's things that happen externally, like maybe there's a difficult relationship with a spouse or a coworker, a tragedy in the family, a financial hardship. Those things on the outside, external world are very real, and they can set the stage for things that are happening on the inside, right? All of a sudden we want to hide more or withdraw, or maybe we even get sick, right? Or we get overwhelmed. And we've had so many clients that will say, oh man, this situation happened, and all of a sudden I couldn't see my vision the way that I could before. I just lost my vision. I've had vision before and now I don't have it. And so these sudden changes can often really point us to that we got triggered, and that trigger could be, triggering a past life trauma. It can also affect our inability to focus on stuff to get things done. Or sometimes you can even get triggered by like, oh my gosh, I'm posting on social media, I'm doing all these things, and all I'm getting is crickets, right? So that's like the worst thing. And it can really be like, oh my gosh, am I good enough? Is my voice worth hearing? Is what I'm doing right? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. It can trigger all of this doubt and procrastination and perfectionism.
Well, and what's really interesting, unless you have this perspective of being able to ask, I wonder if this is about a past life trauma or something that happened in the past, unless you have that somewhere in your questions about what needs to be healed, you're not going to address it. You're not going to know to even look at it, and it's going to persist. And it can be the one thing that just keeps you from being able to move forward.
Yeah.
We see it all the time.
Yeah. And so one of the things that we like to look at is, well, how can you tell? What do you do? So when these things happen and you start realizing, oh my gosh, I don't have my momentum, I keep not doing what's on my to-do list, what I know I need to do, we want to look at what is causing that. What is causing the feelings of resistance or those behaviors of procrastination and perfectionism? And what's so interesting also is that you know, we have these recurring patterns many times throughout our lives. Maybe we get close to really breaking through and then we pull back. Or maybe we keep getting into maybe a little bit of a destructive or a manipulative relationship or something like that. And we're doing great. And then all of a sudden we fall back into drama, right? Trauma, drama, whatever. So we see these patterns across our lives. And many times those recurring patterns, like hiding or getting, you know, overwhelmed, or those negative relationships or scarcity mindset, right? Those recurring patterns in our current day life can also be reflected in the patterns that we've had in our past lives. And it's repeating in order for us to heal it. So that's one of the signs, is if you're seeing, oh my gosh, this is a recurring pattern for me. I am in this stuck place again, and I've done that throughout my life. So that's one way to see that, oh, maybe this is something that's longer than my, you know, recurring pattern in this lifetime. Maybe this goes back a long time as a core soul issue, right? So another sign that you might be having some past life trauma is, a lot of you guys are intuitive out there. So if you get the intuitive hit, or maybe you even see or feel a scene from that past life and it feels really old, right? It doesn't feel current. It feels like something that happened a long time ago, or it looks very old, right?
What I love about these things that come up is especially when they recur, and it's like you get to the same place where you're going to do the thing that's going to really bring you to the place that you're envisioning, and that feeling comes up again of doubt or whatever it is to not take the next step. And what I love is that those things, they always look like, why is this happening to me?
Right.
And really, wow, this is happening for me to be able to realize that there's something going on that I need to look at.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that's, you know, and that's what we do with our CoreTalk holistic healing, is to be able to talk to the body. And the last sure sign is that when you talk to your body and you can say, when did this core issue start? Right? Because it's all about these core issues, alleviating all of that trauma or, you know, adverse experiences and the stuck emotions out of your body. You say, when did this start, body? And you're like, did it start before I was 10, before I was 5, before I was 1? Whoa, did this start before this lifetime? And your body will be like, yep. And we're like, okay, we got to get to healing that past life.
that happened with Denise DeLorean. She was at our Unleash Your Inner Healer event, and she spoke about being very wealthy in the early 2000s, and then that manifested into money was easy for her. But then when she started to develop a healing career, it just seemed like it was unspeakable that she'd ever be able to have that type of financial security that she had early. And of course, this was also in 2008. She lost everything. And as we talked about what she wanted, her body led us to a past life, an end of life trauma around having been very visible as a healer and losing everything and having her children and her family basically go away. And that caused all of this problem with visibility. And for her, it was the financial trauma of 2008 that really triggered in all of that. And we cleared the stuck emotions from that life and some of the energetic cords around the trauma in 2008. And she was then able to get clarity. All of a sudden, everything shifted for her. And she was like on fire from that time on, and was speaking and being able to post. And it was like a completely different person because of healing this past life trauma, about being visible as a healer. So
yeah, so we're hoping that many of you got some clarity, that you might have a visibility or a business issue that could be related to a past life trauma. And we hope that you can see how especially the resistance to visibility that you might have in posting on social media or putting yourself out on social media, even, how much you post on social media, that if you have any issues or resistance or fear around it, that might have its origins in the past life trauma, and that could lead to that resistance. Or maybe, and we didn't talk as much about the business issues like scarcity mindset, fear of success, a lack of confidence or self-esteem, but all of those can also have their origins in these past life trauma. And if you can start to see that, then you can heal that past life trauma and make it so much easier in an instant to move forward. So we'd love to stay in touch with you, and we actually have a free gift for you. So we should stop our share. There we go. And our free gift, it's a little bit different, but it's a very wonderful, transformative gift called The Shift.
The switch.
The switch. I know Katya said that earlier. No, not the shift. It's the switch.
That's right. Yeah, can you tell a little bit more about what's in it and what people get when they say yes?
So I love this process that we came up with that's in the switch, because it was my problem. It was the thing that I'd be going along in the day, and all of a sudden I'd have a little tech issue. I'd have a little thing where, oh, I can't find that file. And all of a sudden I'm going down the rabbit hole and I'm not being productive at all. And I'm not just kind of like, and I'm not happy either. And I'm getting frustrated and grumpy. And we created this process to be able to create awareness around that, and then what to do to heal that. And you'll be able to go to the switch, and you'll be able to get this very easy 3-step process where you can be in that grumpy land in your day, or in that confused, or you're just procrastinating, frustrated, or maybe you're just watching cat videos, whatever it might be. And you'll realize there's something that I can do right now that will give me the confidence and clarity to see what's going on and to be able to get back to work quickly and easily.
Back to work. That's the whole point.
Yes, and that is a powerful, powerful gift. So I highly recommend that you're going to get it. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for this presentation. You shared so much wisdom, and I am just so delighted to have you here and helping people to really be able to be soulful on social and share their gifts and share their work online, because it is such a beautiful tool that we have here. And now, as we conclude, is there a special message that you'd like to leave the audience with?
My favorite, and this, works with the past life, is sometimes we want to worry or stress about the past and freak out about the future, or worry about past lives. But the most important thing is being right here, right now. This is where the healing happens. This is where the love happens. This is where the action happens, where you get out of fear and you post, where you stay in your beautiful genius presence and you share that with the world. Happens right here, right now.
Beautiful.
And that transition, Antonia always talks about being here right now. Our body is such a temple of wisdom when it comes to the things that it does without us having to even think about it. And one of those things is breathing. So to really get here right now, focus on your breath. Take a breath and allow that to be the transition and the transformation into that next glorious moment where you get the clarity and the confidence to move forward in that moment.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Antonia and Greg, for your time and all the valuable work that you do in the world. And thank you for joining us in the inspiring Soulful and Social Summit session. It's time to shine, share, and succeed. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.